Veena from Batter Cake, the channel that's about baking and much more. A warm welcome to my channel.
Today, let's make a hugely popular seasonal favorite here in Maharashtra, tasty Matar Karanji, or neoreo with green peas, you could say. A winter special snack, its outer covering is light and not too greasy, and it's packed with a delicious green pea-based savory filling. However, our recipe is going to be a healthier version of the popular one. Now let's get started with learning how to make Matar Karanji right here at Batter Cake. Maharashtrian Matar Karanjis are enjoyed with great relish at this time of year when you find heaps and heaps of fresh green peas in the markets, that too at pocket-friendly prices. Okay, now let's start by preparing the Matar Karanji filling. Here I have 1 1/4 cups of fresh green peas. You could also use the frozen variety. And here's a medium-sized potato that I have peeled and chopped. This is a microwavable bowl, and to it I'll add a 1/4 cup of water and then cook the green peas and potato in my microwave oven for 5 minutes. After that, I'll drain off the extra water. You could also cook these two directly on the stovetop. Just boil them in sufficient water for 5 to 6 minutes and then drain away the extra water. I'll microwave this and be back. The green peas are fully cooked, and so are the potato pieces. I'll now transfer these to a colander so that the extra water can be drained off. Once this cools to room temperature, I'll coarsely grind the mix of green peas and potato in my mixer grinder for just a few seconds. Alternatively, you could crush these roughly with a potato masher. Here's the coarsely ground mix. As you can see, I've not ground it to a paste, and some of the green peas are almost intact. That's the way it should be. Next, let's grind a few ingredients to prepare a sort of masala. We'll have to grind a 1/4 cup of chopped coriander leaves, 4 chopped green chilies, a 1-inch piece of ginger that's been finely sliced, and a 1/4 cup of grated fresh coconut, along with 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. I'll grind this mix coarsely for just around a minute and without adding any water. Here's our coarsely ground masala. Now let's cook the karanji filling. My pan is heating on a medium flame. To it, let's add 1 tablespoon of oil and then a 1/4 teaspoon of hing or asafoetida, followed by the coconut masala. Let's saute this well for around 2 minutes. This is an important step for increasing the shelf life of our delicious karanjis, meaning it will be possible to keep these good at room temperature for at least 2 to 3 days, if they last that long, that is. After that, you'll need to store them in the fridge. Next, we'll add the crushed green peas and potato mix and stir everything well again and let the mixture cook some more and lose even more of its moisture. We have to make the filling as dry as possible. If it's too wet, the fried karanjis won't stay puffed up for long and will become soft in just a few minutes. Now that the masala has become drier, let's add 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 tablespoon of raisins. I chopped some of the larger ones into 2 pieces each, and 1 tablespoon of cashew nuts. See that the pieces are not too big. Our filling doesn't need too many spices. We have to keep it simple, meaning we have to just see that the sweetness of the green peas and the coconut is well balanced by the spicier ingredients like the chilies and ginger. Let's now cook the filling with constant stirring and let it dry up some more. Okay, I'll now turn off the heat and then add in 1 teaspoon of lime juice. I'll mix this well into the filling and then check the taste. It tastes great, so I don't have to adjust any of the seasonings. Let's now spread the filling out in the pan to let it cool faster. In the meanwhile, let's prepare the dough for the outer covering, giving our recipe a healthy twist. Here's 3/4 cup of maida, which I'll transfer to the sieve. And to it, I'll add a 1/4 cup of atta or healthier whole wheat flour. Let's sift this flour mix. And then to it, add 2 tablespoons of fine semolina or rava, but even regular rava will do. We'll also add half a teaspoon of ova or carom seeds and half a teaspoon of salt. Let's mix everything. And then add in 2 tablespoons of smoking hot oil. I'll mix everything with a wooden spoon first and then with my hand. Here, oil is a healthy substitute for ghee. Now let's knead a stiff dough by adding just a little water at a time to the flour. Like this. The dough now seems fine. When you press it down a little, you should feel some resistance. Now let's cover the dough and keep it aside for around 15 minutes. Our dough is now slightly softer than before. We shouldn't let it rest till it becomes too soft. Now let's divide the dough into small balls, small enough to make Matar Karanjis of around 3 inches diameter. But make larger balls if you want to make Karanjis or neoreo of a larger size. Let's keep these dough balls covered so they don't dry out while we shape the Karanjis. Let's flatten the first ball and roll it into a disc like a puri, around 3 to 3.5 inches in diameter. Don't roll it out too thin. This is the thickness we want, not too thin and not too thick. Let's place a heaped teaspoon or say 1.5 teaspoons of the filling on the lower half of the disc. Wet the edge of the lower half with water. Fold the upper half over the filling and press down along the curved edge to seal it. Let's trim the edge with a pastry cutter. You could leave the border plain or make a simple design with a fork, like this. I'll transfer this karanji to a thali. Let's make another one. This time I'll make another simple design. Just remember to keep the shaped karanjis covered with a kitchen towel or napkin. I was able to make 18 karanjis in all. Let's now deep fry them in oil with the heat on medium-low for most of the time. This oil has been heating on a medium flame. It shouldn't be too hot. If a tiny dough ball dropped into it immediately begins releasing a whole lot of bubbles, you can be sure its temperature is just right. Fry as many karanjis as you can at one time. This will help to control the temperature of the oil and keep it from getting too hot. In the beginning, the karanjis will stay immersed in the oil. But once they float to the top, lower the heat from medium to medium-low. Fry the karanjis slowly and patiently, only increasing the temperature to medium now and then. After 3 to 4 minutes, turn the karanjis over to let them fry on the other side as well. The karanjis have puffed up nicely, but there was room to fry one more in this batch. In the next batch, I'll fry 6 karanjis. These look like they're done. They took 8 minutes to fry to a beautiful light brown color. I'll transfer them to this steel bowl lined with an absorbent kitchen paper towel. Let's fry the next batch. I'm now done with the frying. The Karanjis are looking good. Freshly fried, well puffed up, a smooth outer covering, and they are not too oily. But now, let me break one for you. The outer covering has a lovely texture. It's somewhat flaky and not too hard and not too soft. And as for the stuffing inside, trust me, it has the right balance of flavors. These tasty Matar Karanjis would go really well with a hot cup of evening tea, but they would also be great for breakfast, lunch or dinner. Honestly, today's savory delicacy from Maharashtra is worth trying out. The recipe is an easy one and doesn't require too many ingredients either. Do make these Matar Karanjis at home and taste them and let me know how you like them, okay? Do subscribe and stay tuned for more delicious recipes from Pat a Cake. Until we meet again, happy cooking!